All right, here we go, y'all. Let's listen to the rant, 14 minutes of Justin's talking about mental health month, mental health month. I guess he's talking about his mental health again. Here we go.
Good morning, good morning. So, it's June. June is Men's Mental Health Month, and this is a interesting situation that exemplifies that fact. You can see how stressed out I am. Just look how much I'm graying. I once had a lawyer tell me that one of my children would have to die or be seriously injured before anything was done to protect them. And I am very much beginning to believe that. So I'll give this a minute for a few seconds here for people to log on. Hello, bye.
What he just said makes no sense. He literally said he had a lawyer to tell him that one of his kids would have to DIE or be seriously injured in order for him to protect them. To protect them from what? To protect them from what?
Hello, Peggy. So, I haven't been online for a week because honestly, I have been frustrated and I have been disgusted, mostly. As despite the propaganda machine trying to cover it up, and there's more, and the propaganda machine just keeps being more and more bloggers to cover up lies, and you know, there's lots of them, and you know, and I'm not afraid to get on here and tell the truth. Yes, my daughter was exposed. She was wearing a dress with no underwear, which, you know.
And he wants to keep bringing light to that, all because he wants the internet to know that his daughter was exposed. He wants everybody to know that his daughter was exposed. That's the news, y'all. That's the news. He wants to keep on hounding on it and letting the whole world know his daughter was exposed. How does he think his daughter's gonna feel when she get older to know that he just kept on talking about it and talking about it and talking about it? Because mind you, he's the only one that's talking about it, you know?
That's negligence, and you know, you could just be like, oh, that's an accident, right? But not when it happens.
Because it has nothing to do with his daughter. The reason why he keep mentioning this, because it's not his daughter being exposed that he want to bring light to. It's Korra that he wants to bring light to. If it happened on his watch, or if anybody else had the baby, right? A friend of his or something like that had the baby and the same thing happened, he would let it die. But because it happened on Korra's watch, it doesn't really have anything to do with his daughter. It's all about his ex-wife Korra.
A dozen times, and I finally got the police to listen to me and actually take the report and verify that said thing occurred, as well as all the other occurrences. And I was expecting the system to kick in and be like, hey, we need to intervene so that my daughter's innocence is maintained for something they cannot consent to.
How can the innocent be maintained? And he keep coming out here and telling social media, the whole world is going to know about Athena and Junie and what happened to them as children because of his mouth.
At 4 years old. That didn't happen. That did not happen. I've heard nothing. I've heard nothing from the police. I've heard nothing from CPS.
So he thought the police taking a report that he said his daughter was exposed on Facebook. He thought them taking the report would make them rush and go do something, like CPS would go and intervene and take the girls, or the police would take this as serious as he wants them to. So now he's mad because he feels that they took the report, but they're not taking it serious.
When I call my lawyer and tell him what's going on, he's like, I don't think that's enough for an ex parte. Now, why would I want to get an ex parte? To stop the behavior.
So apparently he must have went and filed another ex parte, y'all. Ex parte is an emergency protective order, okay? So he said he called his lawyer because he just thought he had it in the bag this time. I'm pretty sure one of his friends said, "Oh, you got her this time, you got her." So he calls his lawyer and said, "Oh, I got her. She made another mistake. Let's highlight this. Let's take my girls," because that's what he wants. He wants those black girls taken away from their black mother. Let's just call it what it is. Justin wants the black girls taken away from their black mother so that he can raise them and make money off of his black daughters, okay? That's what he wants. So anyway, so he called his lawyer on the phone and told his lawyer what happened, and he thought he had the nail in the coffin, and his lawyer pushed back and tell him, "I don't think that's enough for an ex parte. An ex parte is an emergency protective order. That means something seriously is happening right now that needs to be mitigated, right? Needs to stop, needs to be looked at by a judge, needs to be protected." And so his lawyer says, "I don't think that's going to be enough." And I'm pretty sure Justin didn't like that.
I want to, like, that's all I want is this behavior to stop. I mean, and because it's a mother doing it, it's not, nobody's acting on it. If I were to be doing that stuff, accident, whatever, I'd be in jail.
And he even says accident. He said accident or whatever. If it was him doing it, he said he would be in jail. And no, he won't. They don't jail you for that type of stuff. However, he's saying that because, he's trying to appease to a certain audience.
As a man, they'd be at my doorstep in a second. In fact, the previous week prior to that, I had the police called on me for a rock, paper, scissors exam. And also I took my kids to the pool and they called me about safety at the pool, which there was no safety issues at it.
But see, what he's talking about, a supporter calling the police on him versus Korra calling the police on him is a big difference. He's calling the police on Korra and supporters are calling the police on him. That's a big difference. Korra is not stunting him, but he's stunting her. This man sits here and stalks his baby mama online, looking for mild things that he can try to get her on. That is absolutely ridiculous.
And mind you, the person that called the child services is a convicted felon. So it's like convicted felons reporting me for nothing have more sway in the system than a doctor. I haven't broke the law or had any sort of anything since 2014. The last time I broke the law was in 2014 when I got a speeding ticket, which is probably not even on my record anymore. I gotta tell you, it's June's Mental Health Month, and my heart, my mind is out there to all fathers out there that are dealing with this bullshit, because it is bullshit. When you're a father being like, hey, my number one job in life is to protect my girls, and that includes their innocence, and you just get crickets from the system. I don't know how much more I can take, to be honest with you. It is completely derailing my life, being like...
What's derailing his life, you guys, is not what's so much going on with his girls. It's the fact that he can't win. Y'all have to understand, Justin is after something. He wants to win. He wants to shut Korra down, and that's what's occupying his life. That's what he's upset about. The fact that he has been unable as a white male in America to defeat Korra. You have to understand, it's a competition thing, and right now he wants to come out on the better end. And it looks like Korra is coming out on a better end because she's moving on. She's minding her business. She doesn't need him financially or for anything, to be honest with you, and that bothers him. The fact that he cannot, shut her down, stop her, prevent her from making money, prevent her from having supporters, prevent her from being able to care for herself and the children without him, that's what's stressing him out, and that's what's bothering him, okay?
Why is nobody taking indecent exposure of minors on the internet for millions of people to see, and then the mother either refuses to take down the videos so that more...
She took down the videos. From what I heard, she took down the videos that exact same day. So the video is not even on the internet no more. So why is he having an issue again, you guys? He's having an issue because it happened. It's not about what happened. It's about Korra.
People can see it, attracting pedophiles. And her address is online. Everyone knows where she lives. It's like, where's the common sense? Now, obviously, I live in California, and it seems like common sense is not common. And maybe this is just my conservative country origins, where I'm like, if you're indecently exposing a child on the internet, there should be some sort of like intervention. I mean, at least like something. I'm not saying go to jail or anything like that. I'm not saying what it should be, but there should be some sort of intervention to stop that behavior from occurring repeatedly. And so far, I've got nothing. And it's messing me up a little bit, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. It's not gonna lie. It's messing me.
It's messing him up that he can't get the system to come in and side with him. Side with him that Korra is a bad mother. Side with him that she's a negligent mom. Side with him that he is the better parent. He wants people to think that he is the better parent.
Up a little bit that, my little girls are being exposed for profit because it is making money. And I am screaming at a mountaintop.
And that's another thing. As you notice, he's always, and I mean always, talking about her money, and that bothers him. She makes money on the internet, and he can't stand it. He feels that he went to school for however long he went, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, or whatever, and she's making more than him by being an entertainer online. That's bothering him, okay?
Help me, and nobody's listening. The video was taken down on YouTube because people reported it, but it was still on Facebook. Call CPS? You mean CPS? The system that let her fail 8 drug tests legally and did nothing? You mean the system that said all of her content, including her book, on social media was hearsay? You want me to call a system that's actively protecting her? Why would I call?
See, as you could tell, as he continued to talk, it's not about his daughter. You see, now he's talking about her book. You see, now he's talking about other things. That tells you right there, it's Korra. It has nothing to do with Junie or Athena. It's Korra.
Someone that's actively protecting that sort of behavior. Now, if you say it doesn't exist, you're protecting. If you fail 8 drug tests, and absolutely no consequences, doesn't even matter, that's protecting. Absolutely, the system is protecting this woman. And I can't for the life of me figure out why. I guess it just comes down to she has enough people on the internet supporting her.
And that's his thing. He think her support, you see how he just mentioned her support? She has enough people on the internet supporting her, right? He thinks that if he can dismantle her support team, then he can get ahead of everything, right? That bothers him. When he speaks of her support, look how stressed out he look. She has enough people on the internet supporting her. It doesn't matter who support you. If you are wrong in the eyes of the authority, they coming for your ass. So it doesn't matter how many supporters that she has or don't have, right? So it's her. It's her that's bothering him. It's her leveling up that bothering him. Even staying afloat, whether she's leveling up or not, just the fact that she don't need him in another country, that's bothering him. It's the money and also the support. because he just mentioned the money and he also mentioned the support. Thank you, Candy.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, take her to court. I'm going to have to eventually. But as I spoke to my lawyer, he was like very like, and I've had 3. He's like, I don't think a judge is going to do much about that. And you know, I will be completely blunt with you. That rocked me for a week because it's just like, I've been at this for 5 years now. I'm not trying to hurt anyone, not trying to take anyone down. I'm just saying some behavior with kids should not be for public consumption. There's nothing wrong with posting cute videos and pictures and of like you doing cute family stuff, but having sexual acts performed by minors and having them sexually exposed online is just simply unacceptable, and I can't get anyone to listen. You know what I'm saying? But if I was doing that stuff, God, I'd be in jail. As a man, if that stuff was occurring under my watch, I would be absolutely like, there would be no mercy. And so it's like, I don't know how much more of this I can take, of spending all my money and doing everything I can to protect my kids from something as simple as having their private parts exposed on the internet. It's like, how is this not common sense? Where is this country going? Is it any surprise that people like Epstein got away with what they got away with for so long? Is there any surprise why these celebrities and people in Hollywood get away with what they get away with for so long? It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. And yes, I'm on here venting a little bit because many of you guys are seeing this, many of you guys are following this, and you guys are I'm getting people harassing me saying I'm lying, and I'm getting people that are concerned for the kids harassing me because they think I'm not doing anything. I am fighting as hard as I can.
Again, he's fighting to beat Korra. He wants to win. It's about a win for him. This is all this is about. He wants to win against Korra.
Like, to stop said behavior. I mean, her lying about me is a separate issue. Like, that's, you know, her lying about me is a separate issue. The issue that I'm like, that's just messing me up is that the fact that I'm a father trying to protect little girls' innocence, and it is falling on deaf ears. It is falling on deaf ears. And anyone that wants to say this is true, let's do something about this, the propaganda machine, the cyber mob, goes and tries to take down those pages. And it's like they're protecting they're protecting the exposure of children. You can still support someone and not be okay with that. How is it that people are, I don't understand. If you support someone, the true definition of support is to tell someone that when they're wrong. I'm not fighting enough feeling pity. You're feeling pity for it. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Many of you guys are women, and you guys are operating from an assumption that there are equal rights here. There's not. The biggest civil rights movement that's going to occur in this country in the next 10 to 20 years is going to be for fathers' rights. Because if I do anything, not even when I do anything, when I'm accused of anything, boom, system steps right in to check it out. There's never anything, right? But when there's proof, black and white, or in this color, in this case 4K.
And the thing about it, if he was still married to Korra right now, and this was happening while they were married, we wouldn't even be hearing this, because it would have happened. Korra would have took it down, and that would have been the end of it. He wouldn't have made it a big deal. And when you don't make it a big deal, what happened? It disappears. Every time his lips are moving, he's lying. I would happen to agree with that. All right. Listen, he's upset. If he was still married to Korra and this happened while they were together, it wouldn't be a big deal. They would let this blow off. It would have been not even talked about the next day at all. Not even brung up. It was a mistake. Let's continue. That's what he would have made it seem.
And it's indisputable. Crickets. Crickets. Somebody's like, oh, he's jealous. Why would I be jealous?
And the jealous people can't stand when other people say that they're jealous. That bothers them so much. So again, the jealous people, when they get so offended by that comment, you're jealous, you're jealous, you're jealous. They get so mad. Why would I be jealous? What does that person have for me to be jealous? It bothers them so much. They cannot stand it because they know it's true. Okay?
Of somebody exposing minors on the internet. Like, some of you people, I'm just gonna be absolutely blunt. Some of you people on the internet, you disgust me. The way you support negative behavior, it is.
So you see how he now has taken the rant away from his daughter, right? Because that's what he claimed he was so upset about. Now he's taking it out on the supporters. Now he's saying, you supporters that support her disgust me, right? So now he's mad at supporters. You see how they turn their dislike and their hatred on the supporters? Because when they can't convince you to stop supporting someone that they feel that they are in competition with, now they want to curse you out and tell you how disgusting you are, because they could not manipulate you into stop supporting the person that you are supporting. So now you're disgusting to him because he couldn't get you to see it his way and follow him and support him and not support Korra. So now he's upset at the supporters. They love turning on the supporters and telling the supporters how disgusting they are for just supporting. If they were supporting his shenanigans, he would be perfectly okay with it. But because they're supporting Korra and he feels that that's who he's in competition with, now the supporters, he say, what? You disgust me.
People, I'm just gonna be absolutely blunt. Some of you people on the internet, you disgust me. The way you support negative behavior, it is appalling. And I'm going to say this in an absolutely direct way. Like, that's unacceptable. The fact that we're the same species is I cannot relate to your mindset of just because a father is speaking out about the injustices of what's going on with his children on the public platform. And I'm using a public platform because the system is not listening. And the system is doing the opposite of protecting my children. They are not protecting. And I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. So those of you on here that are supporting the sexualization of minors, you're the problem. You're the problem. And
so now he wants to try to turn the support that the supporters have for Korra. Now he wants to say you're supporting the sexualization of minors because you support Korra, just like they used to say, If you support me, you're supporting someone that speaks on the dead, right? So they take one or two things and they try to highlight it and they try to say, that's what you're supporting. That's what you're supporting. It's called trying to embarrass you and shame you and guilt trip you for supporting that person so that you can look at yourself and be like, oh man, am I supporting someone that speaks on the dead? Am I supporting someone that sexualize children? Oh, I'm not going to support that. So I'm going to pull the plug and no longer supports Korra, right? They want you to think that that one or two things that they don't like or they're trying to highlight about that person, they want you to withdraw all of your support from that person because of that. It's called manipulation. They're trying to, they try to manipulate the supporters, okay?
Someday you're gonna have to answer to God.
And they love putting God into it. So now he's telling the supporters, right? Not Korra. He's telling the supporters, someday you're going to have to answer to God. Answer to God for supporting Korra. Let that sit for a moment. You're going to have to answer to God for supporting someone that if he was still married to them, right, he would want all of the support from you. And he would say, we're not perfect parents. Things happen, right? But because he's in a whole competition with Korra and he wants to be looked at as the better parent and her to be looked at as the bad, negligent parent, he feels that she has the upper hand and he doesn't like it. So what does he tell supporters? Someday you're going to have to answer to God.
You know, I don't hate anyone, but damn, I didn't know that there were so many people in the world that were so mentally disturbed.
So now the supporters are mentally disturbed. Not him, not anybody that don't like Korra, right? But those that choose to still support Korra despite of, realizing that she is not perfect, realizing that mistakes do happen, right? Now, it's people in the world is mentally disturbed if they support Korra.
Yeah. I don't know how much more of this I can take of just common sense. Protect my daughters from being exposed online. And
if it was only about him being upset that his daughters were exposed online, he wouldn't have just now brung up 8 failed drug tests. He would not have brung up the writing and what was in her book. He would not have brung up the supporters supporting her. This is not about what happened to his daughters. This is all about, I can't beat Korra, and I'm upset about it. It is getting to me as a white man in America, from America. I cannot beat a black woman that he feels that he brung over here. He feels that she should be treated less than him, not loved on more than him. He feels that she's less than him, but she's receiving more money, more love, more fame, more supporters, more clout. She's more than him and he can't stand it, okay?
And absolutely nothing being done. Yes, I'm going to try to go to court. Thank you, people. Thank you to those of you that donated in the coffee app. I will not touch that money other than for court purposes. And I will prove so because the propaganda machine will obviously try to spin that narrative. All right. There you go. That's what's going. That's the nature. That's the nature of what's going on. Children exposed online, crickets. But if I did it, I'd be in jail. Yeah. Bye.
Okay, so Christine Edwards said Athena was exposed online twice with him. She was completely naked. And he's not making a fuss about that. You want to know why? Because it's not about his daughters being exposed. It's simply about the fact that he feels defeated. He feels defeated because it's nothing. He keeps thinking of things. Grasping for straws is what they call it, right? And when nothing sticks, it makes him upset. He wants to be able to say, I beat you. I told you that I was going to be able to do this, or the third, right? And because he's not able to make her look, or not even make her look, but convince everybody that she is a negligent parent, convince everyone that he is the better parent, because he haven't been able to convince people of that, it bothers him. It really, really bothers him, okay? So Justin is still ranting after 4 or 5 years later of departing from Korra, or Korra departing from him, and he still has an issue. Now, in my opinion, Justin will forever have an issue as long as he's not able to bring Korra down. Now, Lord forbid if Korra ever moves on with her life, meet someone and date them out loud, or even get married, he is going to lose his shit, okay? He literally watches her every move while online. It's not no somebody sent me this or somebody sent me that. He is totally glued to her live stream. He watches her live streams. He's so dead set on trying to find something to point out, to highlight that she is an imperfect person. But the supporters that support her make him feel like, oh, you know, she got too much support. Why does she have all this support? I want to dismantle it. Because he can't dismantle her supporters, now they're mentally ill. He can't stand them. They discuss him and all of that stuff. But if they were supporting him, he would be perfectly okay. Before we go, let me do an analysis on Justin's rant about not being able to protect his children because of the multiple times the kids was unclothed online, and he's trying to blame Korra for being negligent, and that the police and the courts not wanting to protect his kids from that behavior. So anyway, it says, my honest assessment, this sounds less like child protection and more like public custody warfare dressed up as child protection. A father can absolutely be concerned if his young daughters were accidentally exposed online. That part is valid. Any parent should be upset, especially because once something hits the internet, you cannot fully control who saw it, saved it, or even shared it. So the concern is not the problem. The problem is how he keeps handling it. When he goes online for 14 minutes repeatedly talking about his daughters being unclothed, he is actually re-amplifying the very thing that he claimed he wants hidden. Even if he does not show the video, he is putting the details back into the public discussion, sending people looking for it, and keeping his children's bodies as the center of social media's debate. This is not protection, it is performative. On the legal side, he claims that a lawyer said one child would have to die or suffer seriously bodily injury before he can protect them sounds exaggerated. Courts do not require a real emergency for emergency custody orders, but that does not mean a child has to die. California emergency custody ex parte standard is about immediate danger or irreparable harm to a child, not wait until death. CPS looks at abuse, neglect, exploitation, or risk of harm, but not every parenting mistake or accidental exposure automatically rise to removal, arrest, or an emergency custody. So when he says CPS or lawyers would not move the way he wanted, that does not automatically mean nobody cares about the children. It may mean the system view it as accidental exposure, quickly deleted without enough evidence of immediate danger or severe neglect. That part that bothers me most is this. If the same or similar thing has happened on his watch, then his outrage becomes selective. If it's dangerous when Korra does it, then it should be dangerous when he does it. If it is neglect when she slips, then he has to be held to the same standard. Otherwise, it starts looking like the children are being used as evidence against the mother, not protected as children. And the supporters' attack is telling. Calling her supporters despicable because they still support her sounds like he is frustrated that the public has not turned on her the way he wants them to. That shifts the focus away from the children and toward control of the narrative, control of her platform, and control of her money and control of her support. So, he may have a real concern, but the way he presents it publicly make him look bitter, reactive, and more interested in proving Korra is a bad mother than quietly protecting his daughters. A truly protective parents would document it, contact counsel, ask the courts for clearer social media boundaries, and stop giving the internet repeated descriptions of his daughter's exposure. Now, a concerned father protects privately and moves legally. A bitter father rants publicly and keeps putting his children's embarrassment back on the internet. And that's exactly what I said. He keeps bringing it back to the internet. He keeps coming to the internet. My child was exposed. 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 That's an embarrassing thing that he keeps out here. That is not protection of his girls, okay? He can give a flying fuck about the girls when it comes to that. That is him trying to prove that Korra is a negligent parent. This is a fight between him and Korra, and he's just using the girls as bait, all right?
Let's keep the conversation going down in the comments, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel and Loud Talkers. Y'all make sure y'all keep it loud out there in these streets. Until next time, bye-bye.